Welcome to Soroka Speaks, coaching minds and elevating careers. We're so happy to have you here. We hope that you enjoy this episode and that it supports you to put your potential in motion. What's up, everyone? This Soroka Speaks coming to you with a very special guest. My name is Emily Lieb, and I am one of your co-hosts. And here to introduce our very special guest is my beloved co-host.
It's Claire. And we are joined, I know you, Catie, I love it every time. We are joined today by the beautiful and incredible Catie Di Stefano, who is currently working at Vegas Kings, whom we absolutely love. They are, Moshi and Ashley, honestly, aside from you, are two of my favorite people in the entire industry. I was a little bit jealous when you started working with them. I'm actually not even going to lie. Welcome to our podcast, Soroka Speaks.
Thank you so much. And you know, Claire, first of all, I'm super happy to be here with you guys and be one of your first podcast guests. It's an honor. But it's thanks to you that I also accepted a job with Vegas Kings because I trust your opinion. And when you said, I'm a little bit jealous that you got the job offer, I was like, okay, if Claire is jealous, I'll take this job for sure. So thank you for that.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Well, I'm very happy for you. So let's get into it. I really want our audience and listeners to learn more about you because I think you have carved an incredible career for yourself in iGaming. You kind of exploded, I feel like almost from nowhere. I'm like, who is this girl, Catie, that is everywhere? So why don't we go back? So you began in 2011 in a customer support role. Can you tell us how did that come about?
Well, basically, I Googled where can Swedish people get job easily abroad. And then I found Malta. I saw a picture. I don't know if you know Malta, but I saw a picture of Blue Lagoon. And that's a tiny area, Malta. And I was tricked into thinking that the whole island looked like that. But yeah, that's how I got into it. And I'd play a little bit like slots before I moved to Malta. But it wasn't until I moved to Malta that I really started to like understand iGaming and sports betting, poker. You know, poker at the time was huge as well. So that's how I got into the industry because the Swedish market was really big at the time. And from there, I learned a lot more about the other markets, everything from the UK, Norway, Denmark, Finland, you know, all over. And then from 2018, I started focusing more on the US. And that's where my main focus has been the last 7 years.
Amazing. So, I mean, there is so many opportunities in the industry, right? And you've learned so much in such a short period of time to really figure out what it is that you love to do. With that in mind, you know, thinking about the different markets you've worked in, the different positions you've worked in, what is it that you love the most about either your role or your sector within the role or your sort of position, you know, in the industry itself?
I love that it's an entertainment industry, like through and through. I think initially when I was considering joining the industry, maybe even the beginning of the industry, I thought it was a very evil industry in that way. It was a lot of players were gambling addicts. But having grown now so many years in the industry, worked through customer support and then VIP management for like 6 years, 7 years in total, customer support and VIP, I've learned that the biggest players actually love the games. They're there for the entertainment. Winning for them is nothing. They're doing it for the games, whether it's for sports betting or casino. And I find that very fun as well. It takes a little bit of time before you get into the game and finding which type of games you like. But now that I understand it, I think it's so much fun and I love being part of it. And especially the responsible gaming part, I feel like that is my long-term goal in the industry, to be part of it and share my experience from what I've learned from marketing or customer support or VIP with responsible gaming experts so that I can help them create the best possible future for the gaming industry.
I think that's one of the things I love about you, Catie, and where I feel like our, you know, long-term intentions or aspirations for the industry align. So I think that's, you know, something that speaks to us in terms of, you know, some people kind of fall in love with this industry. I think the creative and the innovative parts and the people that are drawn to it in those domains is really what makes it quite unique and quite extraordinary. And the opportunity, because it is an entertainment industry, or sometimes I'll refer to it as a vice industry, the opportunity to bring that level of humanity and responsibility and fun and play and all that comes with it as well, but do it in a really conscious way. So love that.
Exactly. I think it's so important that we try to remove the stigma that is currently around the gaming industry, because again, it's not only a lot of, let's say, junior people in the industry who believe this, but especially in Europe, like players in Europe have a lot of stigma and doesn't really want to tell their families that they're playing. Whereas we're seeing more in the US, for example, there's a lot more accepted to play. Going to the casino is like a luxury thing with your friends. You're doing it for the bachelorette party or, whatever. And I think we can even improve that part as well and make it a lot more responsible if we know all these different types of factors that play into different departments. Even me now, like I'm not 100% involved in how a slot is created, but I think the people that work with slot creation could absolutely share their experience and knowledge to help Responsible Gambler evolve further.
I think that's really important, a really important topic. And I know you cover that a lot in the industry, and there's a lot of great people really highlighting responsible gaming right now. And what I've noticed, or what I felt in the past is people were scared to really share a lot of knowledge, and it was, something's working really well, let's just keep hold of this for ourselves, rather than try and bring it to the industry and make a significant change, right? And I think there is more being talked about that now. I remember I was on a session at one of the previous conferences, and forgive me, I can't remember which one it was, but Helen Walton was on that as well. And she was really talking a lot about the games and the responsible gaming element, and what players like using the knowledge and really talking about it, what works for her games and her platform and the learnings. She gave out so much useful information. And I thought, oh my God, this is really inspiring. This is what we should all be talking about, what works and what fell flat on its face and did not work and was not well received. There's so much learning that we can all take from that if we are just a little bit more united as an industry, I think.
100%. I agree with that. We have to unite more. And I think it comes as well with tools like LinkedIn now and stuff like that, where we can have a more open community and talk to each other. But previously, I guess the industry was not only shady a little bit more, but we worked in the shadows. So now when we're more open and everything's regulated, I guess people might be more comfortable to share, or I hope so at least.
Well, perhaps it's people like you that have paved the way in that sense. We talk about the impact that you've had on the industry and your presence, excuse me, on LinkedIn. And, we were talking about how you came on and did 160 videos in the last few years, and, you've got a significant following over there. We were curious around, what inspired that part of your journey, and maybe from a personal growth and development perspective, what did it require of you to put yourself out there like that and be seen? I'm sure not that experience is different for everyone, but tell us a little bit about what was the inspiration and what was it like putting yourself out there like that in terms of the exposure that you've created?
So first of all, that's super kind saying that I was a leader and everything. I really appreciate that. But for me, I feel like I was spending a lot more time on LinkedIn, I guess from 2019, 18, something like that. And I didn't see a lot of gaming industry people posting. I saw all other industry posting, but not the gaming industry. And in 2021, I was informed by my current employer, which was Hard Rock in Atlantic City, that they were going to end my contract because they were changing the systems, which is absolutely okay. And I understand that. But that gave me a panic because I've been working in the US for the last couple of years, and I'm based in Spain. So I realized I was in trouble because no one in the US knew me except the people I already been working with. I had to find a way where I could promote myself to US people while still being in Spain. So I figured where the people hang out, LinkedIn. And I also thought, I saw that LinkedIn was lacking authentic, real stories from women. And I thought, I don't know if I can inspire someone, but I have something to share. I can at least show what I know. So one of the first posts I did was just my top 3 favorite CRM campaigns that had zero budget. And then I did another one with as well about, like, I just tried to show this is what I know. This is what I've been working with in the last couple of years. And some way, somehow people appreciated that. And I think that's what's really interesting with LinkedIn and sharing knowledge in general. Like every time I'm thinking like, oh, these are so obvious things that everyone know. And then I post it just because like having it out there, I'm trying to like have a bank of information more or less on my profile. And then people come to me and said, I had no idea. And I was like, okay, what? I thought everyone knew this. So, and I feel the same way with other people who share knowledge with me. I think like we talked about earlier, like it's very, very important to be transparent. And the more we are, the more we can learn together and innovate together as an industry. So yeah, I think as well, just posting on LinkedIn and doing that personal branding has opened so many doors for me since 2021. Job offers as well, but only like I've gotten everything from job offers to being able to speak on stage, podcast interviews like now, articles, a lot of PR that is free just because I'm doing that personal branding and being out there. So it's been amazing.
I actually loved that when you first started putting that out, your top 3 tips, your top 5, this and that. And I'm like, I mean, I'm not in CRM, but I just loved what you did. And I think, like you mentioned, there wasn't really anyone doing that. There wasn't really anyone giving, and we talked about it, that much information, that much knowledge. And it's not trade secrets. It's just kind of basic industry knowledge. And I really think that you did a great job on that. And I love, now you kind of do your roving reporting as well. You had us on one of the events, just interviewing really influential people. I think you've been on the stage with some incredible names. And what is it for you? Could you give any tips to others perhaps are not yet ready or have not yet found their voice or their confidence to do that? Because I know that you've been working on it online is still can be nerve-wracking, right? Because you're putting your opinion and your thoughts and along with knowledge, but to then do that on a stage takes it to the next level. Have you got any tips for anybody that maybe wants to do that but perhaps doesn't have the confidence yet?
What I can say first is that it goes so much quicker than you can imagine. So I think I did my first video on LinkedIn in June or July of 2021. And the goal was to, like, in 5 years, be on stage. And it took me 9 months. And then it was my first stage appearance in New York. And I had 2 panels booked. And since then, I think I've done 20 panels in the last 3 or 4 years. What is it? Since 2022, sorry. And it's been really fun. But like, I'm an introvert, like generally I'm super scared, social anxiety. Like even now, I don't even know what to say. Like I struggle with talking more or less. Writing, no problem. I can write emails, I can write newsletters, marketing campaigns, everything like that. But talking, I'm not good with it. And I wish I could say like, oh, I've done speaking classes and whatever. I have not. That's a goal in the future as well. For me, I think I've pushed myself because I've realized I grow the most when I'm uncomfortable. It does so much for me. And even though I spend like a couple of hours before going on stage, like barely being able to breathe, almost vomiting, like I feel so anxious, being up there on stage, it like afterwards, the adrenaline kick that you get is amazing. And the people that come up and say that they've listened to you and they understood you, like I usually get blackouts. So I don't even know what I'm saying on stage, but it's just, having that community and feeling seen and appreciated, and it opens up so many conversations. Like I met the senator of New York who legalized sports betting, for example, and if I hadn't been on stage with him, I wouldn't have been able to collaborate with him on so many other projects that we've done before. And I would say almost 40% of my network in the last 3 years have come from just being on speaking panels or other panelists introducing me to their colleagues or friends. So it's been a huge opportunity for me.
Tell us a little bit about the struggle, if there is one for you, on stage or when you're in the eye of the public in this capacity. How are you balancing like where you're like promoting yourself and your personal brand versus, you're employed now by somebody and, wanting to represent them, obviously, to the best of your ability. Tell us a little bit about that juggle, if you have any insight there in terms of like, if one is to endeavor to build their personal brand as you've experienced it, what are some of those nuances or discernment that's needed, do you think, between where and when you position yourself personally and where and when you position yourself on behalf of your employer?
It's such a fine line, actually. And I can only say that I've learned by experience. So how do you say it? You do it first and then you ask for forgiveness later. Like, it's how you have to do it and then you see what happens. But for me, I've always, of course, like company secrets, anything company wise, cannot share. But I've always tried again to use what I feel is obvious, that is also personal opinion, like my top 3 campaigns. That's my top 3 campaigns, not the company I'm working for, anything like that. The same when I go to a conference, I try, of course, to show, what colleagues that I'm working with or friends, but I'm not trying to show off anything that the company wouldn't want to show at an event, for example, or like people drinking or being at, misbehaving, which we know happens at conferences. So I think it's more that making sure that you still look professional. But again, I'd also say that it's super important to be authentic and be yourself. Yes, you're representing a company, but you're also your own personal brand. This company might not stay with you forever, not always have your back. Sorry, I've learned from experience. So you have to always take yourself first. If this is something you think that no one else is talking about, let's say payment options in Brazil, and good payments options in Brazil because you've struggled with that as an operator because you've done it many times, then you can share that. I think that is completely okay. But yeah, you do it first, ask for forgiveness later.
It's definitely a hard balance for sure. And I think I'm not saying, I've done that as well. If it's like, okay, I'll do it and see what happens. And, it is also having that right company, and the right environment that encourages that and really empowers their staff to go out there and build kind of their personal brand, because that then you're a representative of that company. And I think that's where it's also a clear indicator of, is this the environment that I want to be in and the company I want to be in, right?
Yeah. I think also some companies I know don't even want their employees on LinkedIn, which I find super strange, but every company is different. And I understand it is apparently because they don't want recruiters approaching them. But I think from a marketing perspective that having people engage from your company on LinkedIn is beneficial in every single way, because every single character will attract their different unique audience that in your way can explain why you're passionate about your company. I call it the Office effect. If you've seen the TV series The Office, you all have different characters that you feel okay, I really like this character, and you start following that one, but you might not like the other ones, but it's that one person that converts you to the brand and makes them remember you and talk about you. And that's, the more lottery tickets you can have out there, the better, So as a company, I think it's really great if you can encourage your employees to be active on LinkedIn and build their own personal brand.
Huge advocate for that. Regardless, even as an employer, it's like my company might not be the right fit for everybody for the rest of their life. And that's absolutely okay. So I think it's double-sided in terms of how do we navigate that personally as a personal brand, but, as an employer, it's also how can you support and just root for your people that you want them to succeed, regardless of whether that's with you or elsewhere, so long as it's what's on purpose and in alignment for them. So yeah, that's a cool way to look at that through a few different angles.
I want to pivot just slightly and celebrate you a little bit more, Catie. You were named as one of the top 70 most influential women in iGaming. First off, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And I wonder how much, you reflect on what that means to you, and maybe we can tie that into the fact that you have built such a strong personal brand and that voice that's then contributed to you being present on the stage and writing for so many publications and being on so many podcasts. Do you have any reflection, like how that's made you sort of feel about the career choice? You want to be a Swedish person working abroad to like where you are now, winning awards?
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I'm so grateful. I was really surprised when it happened. I had no idea. And it was actually the first individual award that I have ever, or award nomination that I received.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I feel like it's a step forward, but at the same time, I don't put too much value like in it. I feel what drives me the most is my audience, the people that I speak to every single day, that I know engages with my posts, that I engage. Like that's what I love about LinkedIn, that and the industry in general. It's such a small industry. Everyone knows everyone. And that's why I don't even feel like it's my audience or it's my community on LinkedIn. It's my friends. So that's what makes me really excited to go to work and go to conferences and stay updated with everyone, because it's people that I know. It's not even friends that you just hang out with. Like it's people I'm probably going to know for the rest of my life, because we're all going to be in this industry for a very, very long time. So I really appreciate everyone, and getting that award absolutely is fantastic, because it means I'm doing something right to maybe be inspiration for other young women that are Googling where to, Swedish people move and stuff like that. But yeah, I think as well, there's a lot of talented and fantastic women that did not make the list, that doesn't have these personal brands on LinkedIn. So that's why as well, like it's a fantastic nomination, but I know there's a lot more people out there, women, that deserve this more than me.
So take your limelight, Catie. Take it and enjoy it.
Thanks.
This is your time, and you've earned it for sure.
I
Speaking
appreciate
of
it.
young women, you're a mom of two daughters, and with to whatever degree you're willing to share, sometimes we experience, or Claire and I do, that the mom is often the default parent. And navigating a career in iGaming and parenting, two young daughters, I can only imagine is challenging. And any insight into how you navigate that, some of the challenges that have arises, some of the, what you have to contend with, and how you support yourself to do so?
I wasn't going to say this in the podcast, but I'm going to say it anyway. When I was pregnant with my second daughter, so I had my kids very, very tight. They're 18 months between. When I was 24, when I had my first daughter, and 25 when I had my second. When I was pregnant with my second, I had someone in the office come up to say to me, "Oh, Catie, it's the only thing you're going to do now, have babies." And that pissed me off so much that I was like, I vow to become someone in the industry. And that has really, really pushed me. And I'm so, so happy that person said that even now today, because I think it's been an incredible opportunity being growing as a parent as well in the industry. I feel like when I had kids, it opened the door to adulthood. People started seeing me, instead of tiny little Catie always being out partying with the industry people. It was I'm a parent now. I also have responsibilities with daycare and managing stuff, and it's been a wake-up call as well, that people actually work and then still have lives with breakups and kids and sickness and whatever. How do people manage? And I can't really answer that, I feel like, but at the same time, so my kids now are 8 and 9. They're still alive, thank God. So I've done something right. And I think for me, having built a career is again a lot thanks to my kids, because I want to be a good role model to them. I want to show them that you can be a mom and you can have a career. I grew up hearing from my mom so I'm half Indonesian. I'm born in Indonesia. So I grew up with a different culture, and my mom pushed me my whole childhood and said, you just have to find a rich man. You just have to find someone that will take care of you. And I don't want my kids to have that expectation of life. I want my kids to know that you can build your own life, build your own career, your own network. And that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to show them, their struggles, but that's what, makes the way to hopefully come out on the other side. And I think it's been very beneficial. It's been amazing for me to have a supporting partner. It's not always been easy. There was a period, like at least Claire, you know, that we were separated for 2 years. So I did struggle a bit like being like a single parent for a while. But even then, just having the partner that could help me when I needed to go on conferences or have late nights did a huge amount for me being able to focus 100% in work when I had to be in work. And I think that will be important for anyone, whether you have like a life partner or a parent or, you know, a friend that can help you with the kids. When there's sickness, when there's something, it's super, super important. But yeah, I think as well, like I don't have all the answers. I'm not perfect at all. I do make a lot of mistakes as a parent. I make a lot of mistakes with my work, but I think in the end, especially the last couple of years after the kids are grown up, it's been hugely helpful having a company where other colleagues are parents and I can have a more flexible work environment with remote work and being able to pick up the kids or drop them off in the morning, or maybe even just being able to do some extra calls when I'm at the conference because the kids miss me. So yeah, it's learning and by going, or how do you say, sorry?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. You know, it is incredibly hard. We're all parents. And it is a really hard struggle to balance everything and to keep going. And I definitely use the kids as part of my inspiration for showing them how life can be and showing them, you know, what you can achieve with hard work and really pushing, like you mentioned earlier, like getting on stage really pushes you out of your comfort zone. Going on stage really pushes me out of my comfort zone. It's been a lot of work for me as well to really step forward into that place. And I use that and go, well, how are we supposed to tell our kids, you know, they're starting high school, don't be afraid, it's okay, and yet we won't even get on the stage, you know, or we won't apply for that promotion or won't ask for a pay rise. It's like, go ride your bike. You might fall off and cut your knee, but don't worry, you can get back up and try again. It's like, how can we teach our kids those things if we're not willing to practice that in our own lives? Then we can, you know, reflect on, yeah, the pain, but getting bonus, like I didn't get an annual bonus this year, but everyone else did. What happened to mine? Why did I get overlooked for that promotion? Why am I afraid to write that article on LinkedIn? Let's just put it out there. What's the worst that's going to happen? Have to take it down because it tanked or the company didn't like it? Okay, so you take it down and you try something else. You know, for me, I use that kids as such a driving force forward to always go out of my comfort zone. So I really appreciate you sharing sort of the impact for you as well. I love that. So thank you for being so open.
100%. And I feel like, especially like you said, showing them failure. So my kids sometimes ask me, you know, like, what's the best thing that ever happened to you? And it's super weird because I say it was when I was robbed when I was 18. And it's like, it was at the time the most horrible thing I have ever experienced. Not to go into details, but like it traumatized me and I'm still affected today. And like, you know, I've been to therapy and whatever, but that whole thing being robbed in Malta, being robbed at Ikea led to me moving to Malta, which led to me getting a career in the gaming industry and then meeting my husband and then having the kids and then having this whole life that we have now. So I mean, it's the butterfly effect in that way, and failure and everything, you know, I believe everything happens for a reason, even failure. So there's been times when I have been let go or, you know, even when I have heartbreaks, like all of it happens for a reason. And there's always a rainbow after the sun, there's always sunshine after the rain.
Yeah, I will have to show you after this recording because I got a tattoo that says everything happens for a reason, but it's in a place, it's on my torso, so I'm not getting that on camera. But that's a different kind of episode. But I thank you for sharing that because I always think that, you know, and I was talking about that actually to my husband the other day about, you know, when something bad happens or when one door closes, another one opens, and it definitely is a journey. And it's, you know, life isn't that straight journey. It is a wobbly, you know, it's almost like that yellow brick windy road, right? And it leads us in different directions. So, you know, overcoming something that is so traumatic to you, but look at where that has taken you is incredible, you know, from one horrific thing has come something so incredible and such a beautiful life that you are building for yourself and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't change a thing. Like everything worked out in the end. And even now, like when I have hardships, because I've been through so many, of course I get sad, but I feel as well like I have a lot more confidence that, okay, this is happening for a reason. And, I'm going to come out stronger on the other side, which I always have now. So that's good.
I think that's the beauty of hardships if we can interact with them like in the most healthy or optimal way, right? Not bypassing the experience of grief or frustration or sadness or whatever we need to go through, but on the other side of that, being able to rise in some form of resilience out of it. I know that my separation and divorce was like the catalyst for the best relationship I have ever had with myself. Right? It's like, I didn't even know all of this person. I'm still learning this person, I think we always will be, but in a way, that experience, as tragic and as heartbreaking as it was like the slingshot to a whole new paradigm of life in terms of the experience you have, the relationship that I have now with myself in light of all of that.
100%. I feel the same way. I wouldn't change anything. And like, even though it was really difficult at the time we were separated, I think it's just made us stronger. And that's just like we talked about. Everything happens for a reason. And then you come out of it and you know more, you have more experience, and you can tackle future things a lot better.
All right. Well,
all right. Go on, you go.
It's that time of the episode for iGaming OGs and the questions on your industry perspective and your future outlook. So, Catie, tell us, with over a decade in the industry, how have you seen the role of women change in gaming overall? And what changes do you still hope to see moving forward?
So I have seen more women in general in the industry over the last couple of years, not only in entry positions, but definitely higher up in manager positions as well. One thing I would like to see more in the future is definitely more female founders. Maybe a bigger female community where we actually help each other and lift each other up in more ways that is creative, I would say.
Love that. Thank you. And then final question, what advice would you offer to individuals aspiring to enter the gaming industry?
Maybe be cautious, stay humble. I think it would be great to find a mentor and learn. Don't be afraid to ask questions, even if it's a million times. It's better to ask than not to. And just be kind and respectful to everyone, because again, everyone knows everyone and it's a small industry.
Any final thoughts, words of wisdom, or anything left unsaid that you'd like to share with us and the audience?
No, just thank you so much. And I really look up to you, Emily and Claire, so much for what you're doing. I really think it's great. And I think this podcast is a great opportunity to show the leaders in the industry in a more authentic and organic way. And I'm really, really looking forward to see what you girls do for the future. And I want to support you in any way I can.
Thank you. Well, the feeling is mutual on all fronts. We're so excited to keep tabs on you and support you in whatever way we can. And enjoy the journey alongside each other, shoulder to shoulder, rooting each other on. That's what it's all about. And may we all be more successful because of that. So this was awesome. Thank you for sharing yourself so freely today. This truly was a gift. So thanks for being here, Catie.
Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll do it again some other time on my channel.
Absolutely. Till next time. Thank you so much, everyone.
That's all for now. We'll see you soon.
Bye.